It's the Carolina Boys coming to you live. Start off, I'm C-Dog, the host, with my co-host, Jolly J.
How you doing tonight, C-Dog?
Doing pretty good. Want to get in a little discussion, kind of off topic, but it's before we get into the sports. With all the 13 service members who died in this tragic time, just the families, we're praying for them, in this tragic time. It was a tragic loss. It shouldn't have happened. For all the Marines, the brothers that was lost, the sisters that was lost, and the Navy, pray for the family through this time.
Yeah, it's definitely a tragic time for the country and America right now. It seems like the country's divided on the political side. We don't really talk about political stuff here, but it's service member women's lives that are at stake here. Can't really get involved in what side is right and what side is wrong. I just know when lives are lost, it's very important to the country and the loved ones. I know it's very off topic. At the same time, this is the place to talk about the way of life is right now. I really feel sorry for the families, and I really hope everyone prays for the families involved and for our country. And so, yeah, definitely, it's tragic. I was a service member at one point. Never really had to go through all the problems right now when I was in the military, but it was tragic. The world is different now. Yeah, but.
So I'm gonna let you start it off with your favorite sport there, sir.
Speaking of MMA, well, of course, MMA is my favorite sport. You love football, I love football too. My favorite is always gonna be MMA. Right now, this past Saturday we had Friday we had a Bellator, but I didn't get the stats and everything, the highlights of that. Though I did get UFC Vegas 35. UFC is one of the top promotions right now. So, definitely going to talk about it, but I've been watching The Ultimate Fighter for a while now. I watched every single episode of it, all the up-and-coming fighters. Dana White got picked in, they made it to the house. The Ultimate Fighter is not as like it used to be. It's a whole lot less drinking. It was clean, it was more healthy, it was a lot of more brotherly bonding and stuff like that. So that's what it seemed like to me. The Ultimate Fighter was for that. It was more family-friendly, looked like it's more focused on fighting, but you had your top guys right now. I know you had Firefighter there. I know you love the Firefighter, so he was one of the finalists. But you always had Ricky Torcios.
Right.
I was rooting for him in that fight. I know you can't be biased, but he has that mind, body, and spirit. To me, there was a bantamweight fighter. He had the mind, body, and spirits of his fighting. He spoke about children after his post-fight interview. He's very down to earth. He's really close to God. But he's a really great fighter. He can fight. It was wonderful. The win was by decision.
I still think it should have been the Firefighter because he was winning, but that's just me.
On both sides, and you had ground game, you had striking clinic, ground game, you had a big cuts. It was a wonderful fight. I know there was a lot of wrestling involved. Ricky was able to get up. Yeah, he was like just too Irish, so he definitely won. He deserved that. He's a bantamweight Ultimate Fighter winner. It was definitely deserved. I love watching a fight in the Ultimate Fighter series. And also, I know I'm jumping. I'm not really going in order of the main card, but also you had Brian Battle. He won with submission. You had we had our boy from South Carolina. He made it. He made it to the finals, but Gore he didn't get to make it. He had an injury in his meniscus, his leg injury.
Mm-hmm.
I know you tore your meniscus, right? Also at one point, right?
Yeah.
But when he's playing for the Aiken semi-pro team,
yeah,
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that he tore his meniscus. He wasn't able to make it, but Dana White has plans for him. He has plans for him to go in 2022, I believe. That's what I read up on that Dana White released. But also, Brian Battle won by submission. He had a perfect striking clinic. It was a weird submission. You know, you usually see a rear naked choke. It seems like he had him on his back, and he gets the arm underneath the chin, and you get that squeeze going.
Mm-hmm.
But what he mentioned in that fight, because it was actually mentioned a lot in all the comments on Twitter that was trending and everything, that it was a weird submission. But he mentioned about his game plan, that his coach actually taught him that even though you're not getting the full on choke, squeeze your elbows in. I was like, what? I was like, that is an amazing strategy that he mentioned about it. That I never would expect. Amazing strategy about how you put your elbows in and you still get the choke. Just keep squeezing them and squeezing them and squeezing them, and you eventually get that choke. Brian Battle was an awesome fighter. It was supposed to be against Gore, but things happen. There was another injury that happened, and The Ultimate Fighter. That's when Gilmore came in. He didn't make it to the house, but he stayed in Vegas because he could have a shot. Eventually, maybe someone get hurt. He wasn't planning on it, but that wasn't his host. But he was able to stay in Vegas and train there. And he got a fight into the Ultimate Fighter for the middleweights. But he actually, Andre Petrowski, he fought Gilmore. They didn't win. They didn't win to make it to the finals.
Right.
I believe there was a contingency plan. There was supposed to be another fight that was supposed to happen in the UFC Vegas 35, but it didn't happen. There's been a lot of fights that was been canceled because due to injuries or whatever. There was I don't know all the cases, the reason why the fights was pushed away or they didn't make it. But Andre Petrowski versus Gilmore, that was an amazing fight. Gilmore looked a whole lot better in this fight to me. And then he did his stint in the Ultimate Fighter house.
Mm-hmm.
He looked a whole lot cleaner. But Petrowski, he didn't win. He didn't win the semifinals. He actually lost to Brian Battle. He lost to Brian Battle by submission. So, Brian Battle was actually. I know I'm going back to Brian Battle, but he was actually voted last in the house. He was the under guy, and Petrowski was voted number one best guy, and you end up had them in the semifinals that night, and then so he made it, won it. But I know I'm jumping off topic, going back to Ultimate Fighter. I know it's during the UFC Vegas, but it goes together. But Petrowski, he won by ground and pound, clean ground and pound. He grabbed that arm right around Gilmore's face and just started elbowing. It was some killer elbows. Elbows hurt.
Oh yeah, definitely. They do hurt. If it ain't the elbows, it's the knees.
Huh?
I said if it ain't the elbows, it's the knee kicks that hurt.
Yeah, Petrowski, he seemed like his stand up was he seems pretty stiff every now and then to me. Gilmore's getting good kicks. I believe Gilmore won one round. It looked like he did, but the scores are different. But I know that you had Lee versus Rodriguez. I know I'm not going in order, but there was the fights before the Ultimate Fighter wins. But you had Rodriguez. He won by decision. He looked like it was a clean fight. Rodriguez he mentioned he's just staying in Vegas to keep getting fights over and over and over because he wants to keep booking him. He had a short notice fight. It was short notice at the moment. So Lee was a great fighter. He moved down to the welterweight, but he's strong. He's a strong fighter, but also he has to realize they're quicker, But his striking was good. His kicks pretty good. His wrestling was on point. But I know Rodriguez won. So I'm really happy about that. And I mentioned about some finishes. You have Abdul Razak. I believe his last name is Assassin. Al Hassan. I'm sorry for botching these last names, but But he actually got the fastest KO in UFC history at this moment in time.
Oh, really?
It was a history night. It was a history night. History-making night. Really enjoyed it. 17 seconds. See, dog. 17 seconds.
Wow.
You know, that's killer, dude. That is killer. All the way, that's killer. And they definitely deserved a win. And you also, beginning of the main card, you had the biggest underdog in the whole card, and he won. He definitely won.
It was a shocker. I know that.
Huh?
I said it was a shocker. I know that.
Mir's Hart. I'm butchering names, but he won. He won by submission. He was the biggest underdog. To me, it was so that's perfect. Everything changed when the car started changing. Especially Rodriguez. I believe he was the underdog at the beginning of the fight for that one, but then next time the fight happened, the live Vegas odds changed. So,
right.
He was the biggest underdog in the car at that point, and so to me that was awesome. And he gets that win, but then and the next thing you know, he but also we have Giga. Giga definitely that was awesome. He won by TKO in the third round against Barboza. Barboza is considered one of the best strikers in UFC.
He wasn't if he got beat. But he is. I said he wasn't the best striker if he got beat, but he is the best striker.
Yeah, he's the only fighter in UFC right now that has, I believe, all knockouts, or they mention it like all knockouts, whatever, on the point where by head, body, and legs. I believe he's the only one that has the knockouts of that. That was stated that night, but he's the only one that has that between knockouts in head, body, and legs. Right. So that kind of proves what a striker he is. And then Giga, he pronounced himself a renowned striker before the fight, saying he's the best striker. So, to be the best striker, what do you got to do?
Take out the best striker.
Exactly. He only earned that title with beating. And that's the best thing is, the crazy thing is, he was actually going for submissions in the fight when he knocked Barboza down. And so he realized, no. He didn't have it seemed like he didn't have the chokes in tight because he's like, no. I guess he wanted to choose, I don't want to finish the fight this way of being the best striker by submission.
Right.
It doesn't really show that I'm the best striker if I'm beating you by submission. But you get the knockdown, yes. But you're not beating it by striking. That's what you want, right?
Right.
So he got the that's how it goes, and he beat him by TKO in the third round. So he got his crown. I don't know if they will say he's the best striker now, but Giga, he's an awesome fighter. Yeah, I believe he did karate. So to me, he won the best. To me, right now, he was perfect. That's the best thing is you win by TKO or knockout for striker. To me, it was awesome. That was awesome. That's a wonderful fight. But I guess I'll go ahead and pass the channel to you, C-Dog. What you got for me?
All right. I'm giving a little highlights today. The week 3, I guess it's getting closer for NFL's, to end. I think week 3 is the final games or preseason games for before it starts the actual seasons for the NFL. So Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, he had that rough start, his first debut. I forgot who they faced I think it was Cleveland. Yeah, it was Cleveland Browns. And they lost that game, but they gave him a little bit of trust. He came back. Like they played Dallas today. Beat Dallas like 34-14. With Trevor Lawrence behind. Leading the way. He had. He went from 11 for 12 passing yards. With 139 yards. Speak clear. 2 touchdown passes. He was doing surgery basically on the Dallas Cowboys defense. Like he was shredding their defense. I mean, he threw amazing passes. He made amazing plays. You know, he had a passing rating as like 154.5 rating to finish it off for the victory. You know, so I know he feels good. It sucks. Travis Etienne was the best running back for Clemson. You know, supposed to be the best phenomenal running back for college football. Oh, not college football. The NFL as a rookie. Sucks. He'll be out for 12 weeks. I think he had like a foot injury or something like that during his first debut or second game. You know, Justin Fields, he was phenomenal. You know, he's a good quarterback. You know, he played good at Georgia. Go Dogs. He played good at Ohio State. You know, that's why he was supposed to be drafted, you know, number 1 pick or Heisman. But, you know, of course, Mac Jones had to get it. Or no, I believe it was Mac Jones. But, you know, he threw for 7 out of 10, you know, for completion of like 54 yards passing and 1 touchdown and 13 yards rushing, which he's a dual threat quarterback, you know. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball, you know. He knows how to call the plays. He knows how to see the defense more than what any other rookie, you know, that's that good can do. You know, for a rookie quarterback, he also has a elite ball placement, you know, as a rookie quarterback. So he can put that ball right on the spot where it needs to be at the right time. You know, as it's getting closer to, you know, I think it's 5 days now left until the start of college football season. You know, you got the opener. You know, you got Alabama, Miami at 2:30, and Atlanta. You know, that's going to be an even game. I mean, that's going to be a blowout, as I say it every time. Because we all know how Alabama is. They blow everybody out. Especially, I mean, it's Miami. Come on now. You know, they're good, but they ain't that good. You know, Vegas is predicting, you know, them to be, you know, basically a big overdog, big score overdog on the road, if I'm saying that correctly, instead of an underdog. Then you got, you know, the next game, 7:30 at night, it's Clemson versus Georgia. They're saying Clemson's got a 3-point advantage on Georgia to beat Georgia, but, you know, it's a tough game, you know. You got the 2 best teams playing each other. Georgia and Clemson, you know, you got the best defense versus best offense. It'll be down to a fourth quarter game, you know. Georgia is always the fourth quarter. You know, whether we lose or they win, you know, every SEC game is always down to the fourth quarter for the best teams. You know.
Well, you know, like, I mean, cut you off, especially, like, you know, speaking of Clemson, like, I know right now Clemson has status has changed. They got a good couple of players. I know a lot of players has changed. Like and yeah, I know you mentioned before, like last podcast, that Dabo Swinney had like opinion about his current standing for the teams right now, or.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As I just said that last time, you know, he thinks, you know, they should be at the top or that they're better than everybody, but, you know, that's just being cocky, you know.
Yeah, but how do you think I know you have your opinion about the Dogs always have that clutch bite, you know, like, you know, it just seems like they always have that clutch at the end, but Clemson always, if the quarterbacks work well, I believe they can probably do the clutch thing also for them. But,
so that's the thing. I mean, you got DJ. I ain't even gonna say his last name. I'm just gonna say DJ because I can't pronounce his last name. You know, he's got a lot of big shoes to fill. You know, he'd come in, you know, for Trevor Lawrence last year, you know, just a backup quarterback plan. You know, he ain't really never start. This is his first time starting, you know, as a quarterback. And then you have their backup quarterback, which I'm still confused because during spring game, he tore his Achilles. And I know that's a season-ending injury, or you'll be out for at least about 12 weeks. But yeah, he's cleared to play, so something's up right there. I don't understand how you go from having a season-ending injury in the spring game to being 5 days away from starting and being cleared to play. You know, unless that was some God healing, you know, I never know.
Or like a political stunt, maybe.
Or yeah, it could be like, you know, I'm gonna get him down on your guard, you know. I mean, again, you know, he's going to have some shoes to fill too, but it's all going to be based on the defense and offense. You know, they got Justin Ross back for Clemson. Georgia's got a couple of good star players out. Some of them's probable, some of them's doubtful, but, you know, Georgia's elite. Georgia's got running backs. That's why they're called running back U. You know, they got phenomenal quarterbacks. You know, JT goes down, you know, you got Brock going to come in as a backup quarterback. He's amazing as a freshman. So, you know, it's a win-lose situation. You know, it's all going to come down to the end of the line. You know, whoever makes the best plays, whoever stops, you know. It's going to be amazing to see, even though I get to watch it live. But I'm really rooting for Georgia. You know, either way, it's going to turn out however, you know, they play it. You know, if Georgia can get something going, if Georgia can hold, their defense can hold them down, which they got Jordan Davis was the big defensive lineman, you know. I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing a lot of plays, you know, making a lot of stops. They're going to have to get past Georgia's defense. In the secondary, you know, we lost a couple in the secondary, so if we can contain Justin Ross, or Georgia can contain Justin Ross, they'll have a shot, you know, because I don't really think they have enough good talent. I mean, they got talent. Clemson's always stacked. They're like Alabama. But they're going to have a lot of shoes to fill, just like Georgia. Georgia got a lot of shoes to fill from defense and offense since Pickens is out. You know, Kyrus Jackson, he's hurt a little bit. Washington, which is the best tight end, he's out for 3 weeks. So I'm interested in seeing how that's going to turn out.
I know. So I know you're rooting for Georgia, but you have your Georgia shirt on right now in your live chat right now, don't you?
Right. Go Dogs.
Come on, Sea Dog. You know, I know we can't really root for our teams, but you know, maybe Clemson might win, you know. But a rivalry between brothers. But
right.
we finally get the rivalry game that we want between brothers in the Carolina Boys Sportcast. So we should see.
Yeah, just like
I can't wait to that podcast right after the game.
Yeah, I'm probably, and depending on how it goes, I probably don't know if I'm gonna podcast it or if I don't even want to talk. But you know, there's breaking news too. You know,
if we start this podcast and you were silent the whole time, we already know what happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's also breaking news to Alabama. You know, one of their star linebackers, you know, got arrested for DUIs. Quadarius Robinson, you know, supposed to be the best linebacker Alabama's got, which Alabama's talented. Running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, defensive linemen, safeties, cornerbacks, you know, you name it, they got it. So, I don't know how that's going to put Alabama, which I don't think it really would affect it because Alabama's, you know, Alabama, so they're going to win regardless. Unless Miami can do something. Like, I'm going to tell you how embarrassing this is. Nebraska versus Illinois, dude. Nebraska was winning, and they lost. Stupid plays that they made towards the end. They got beat 30-22, so they were almost about to beat them, but they had some stupid plays. I think it was like a fumble.
First college football game?
Yeah, it was like the first opening game, and they lost it to Illinois. They were worst playing ever, like worst play calls ever. You know, I get it. You know, it's the first game of the 2021 season, COVID, you know, issue. Ain't nobody really been practicing. You know, everybody's been trying to social distance, you know, but, you know, I don't know. That game was just weird.
Yeah, keep going.
That was just weird to me. What were you going to say?
No, they're also in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah. And there was also another thing, too, that, you know, I seen that the ACC and Pac-12 and Big Ten, I don't know how true this is, it was a rumor or not, how they were forming an alliance. Instead of, you know, switching over to the SEC or whatever, you know, they all going to come together as a pack and try to be better than the SEC, which, honestly, you know, ain't nobody going to be better than the SEC.
Well, you always have the SEC is, like, considered the power conference. You know, if you're in the SEC, you have the best, you have the hardest schedules. You know, like that's what hearsay. You know,
he said, she said,
word of mouth. You know, they're always saying, well, if you're in the SEC, you have the strongest conference. But then Also, another power conference is to me is the ACC.
But
Not because it has Clemson on one side and Alabama on the other, but at the same time, you have a lot of big teams out of the ACC. Like even in the past, you had Florida State, you had Florida Gators when Jim Tebow was there.
yeah, but they weren't a part of ACC. There was SEC, not ACC.
See what I'm talking about?
So on like ACC, you got like Florida State, you got Duke, you got. I don't even know. All I know is Florida State, Duke, and Clemson. That's about it.
Well, it seems like the Illinois was controlling the game though. It seems like Illinois got like a safety right in the first quarter.
I think it was either the Illinois or it was Nebraska. One of them had the safety in the first quarter, but I mean it was good. You know, they were throwing good passes, but I guess towards the end of it, they just got sloppy and just got tired and started messing up with the play calls. I mean, they were taking shot for shots. It was like sacking the quarterback from Illinois, sacking the quarterback from Nebraska. They were punting the ball, and it's like just couldn't get it going. And I guess Illinois found a way to beat Nebraska, which I mean Georgia beat them. Yeah, it was a tight game.
Illinois scored like 14 points in the second and third, and also in the second quarter, Nebraska scored 9. So
yeah.
Had to be something special there in the moment. It seemed like it was a weird scoring game for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, when the prediction, I've watched everything else. Lee Corso, which the biggest announcer, one who always either picks Alabama, Clemson, Auburn, the one that's always putting the heads or the mascot heads on his head. He even predicted Georgia to beat Clemson. Then I forgot who. Fenbaum, or however you pronounce his name, he said he wouldn't put no money on Clemson. It was going to be Georgia. There's a lot of people saying Georgia's going to win. Every single look.
Even though I strongly would think, but Clemson, it seems like they have a pretty good, solid team. But at the same time, like it seems like Clemson team is new. To your point, it seems like they have a lot of freshmen. I don't know if they're going to starting. I don't know if a lot of freshmen is going to start, but Clemson has got a lot of freshmen this year.
Right.
So
that's what I said. I mean, especially Georgia picking up Kendricks from Clemson, so I know he's going to have a grudge to play. A grudge against them. But if not, I know I hate to say it, but I know they're going to be targeting Justin Ross like hard. I know he just came back from a spinal injury surgery or something, so I know they're going to be kind of trying to hold him down, and especially that backup quarterback. I know they're going to try to take his leg out. If not, they're going to do it to DJ. I just want to see how good Georgia's pressure to the quarterback can get. I believe Georgia will have enough good pressure, but, Clemson, they got pressure too. So if Georgia's offensive line can stand up to Clemson's defense, if it comes down to the fourth quarter, Georgia can handle it. Georgia will win if they can hold the defense, Clemson's defense. Same way for Clemson. If Clemson's got a good offense, as long as they can hold Georgia's defense, I'm pretty sure they can march down the field and win. But it's going to be a back and forth game until it comes down to the end of the wire. Like I know they said, the past 3 games, Georgia in the SEC championship versus Alabama, Georgia was leading hella big. Alabama came back and won. First game, okay, they came back. Georgia was winning again. Alabama came back because they switched quarterbacks. So it's going to be either the battle of the quarterbacks or it's just going to be the battle of the whole team. My honest opinion, Yeah, I'm a dog fan, but, I would root for Clemson. But this time I ain't rooting for Clemson at all. I'm going to go straight for my dog.
Yeah, but... Yeah, you look at the Clemson roster, it seems like they have a good bit of freshmen, but at the same time, it seemed like they're like a 50-50 team with their current sayings right now with the sophomore and freshman. But that could be a good game. I know the reason we're talking about it so much is because it's the closest game to it. But yeah, I know the NFL fourth week was doing pretty good. Like the week 4 for the final preseason games was pretty solid. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. And like a lot of players, that set out for a while, got their debut, even though they've been in the NFL probably a year or two. Like Jake Fromm, he got some playing time. Then you got Rodrigo Blankenship for the Colts. Phenomenal kicker. He was an amazing. He broke Georgia's all-time records. As kicker. Field goal kicker, punter. You name it, he was the best. They call him Hot Rod for a reason. He finally.
I've been hyping up Steelers up this preseason things, but they got demolished against the Carolina Panthers. You say?
They lost. I didn't even watch that game.
Huh?
Did they lose or they win?
They lost.
I did not.
They lost to 34-9.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was a clinic. The only person that scored for a quarterback was Haskins, and he only scored one touchdown, and he threw an interception. The Russian, there was no rushing touchdown. Okay, so it was only they only scored 6 points in the fourth quarter, and they didn't even get the. They didn't even get the 2-point conversion or even a field goal.
Right.
That kind of proved how much they struggled in this game. Of course, Roethlisberger wasn't in it. But they scored 3 points in the third. But other than that, it was they went 3-1 against the 1-2 team in the preseason. But I feel like the Steelers probably trying to just sat some people out, didn't want to really mess with it too much. But I know Dobbs didn't really play that much. He only had one carry. So it kind of tells you that, there wasn't – it's like I would be concerned about preseason, but your season is not considered – you could do great in the preseason.
Yeah.
But
and then do horrible in season.
That shouldn't determine your all-around NFL experience for the thing. But I know the Panthers did great, and also, of course, the – Buccaneers beat the Texans, so...
anybody can beat the Texans. Come on now. It's like Atlanta. Atlanta lost.
They went 1-2 in the for the NFL preseason right now. It's pretty good. It gave Texans, I guess, their... Yeah, so I guess they went 2-2 or so. But the Jaguars, of course, beat the Cowboys. They had a great preseason. Cowboys have no luck. They have not won a game this preseason at all, Sea-Dog. So if that kind of tells you it's not looking bright for the Cowboys, but, they probably benched their players or whatever.
Well, that's what I said. Most of them ain't really starting their starters because, they're waiting until preseason. And I guess they just want to get the rookies in, let the rookies get the hang of it.
Yeah, but at least the Jaguars did use Trevor Lawrence a lot this game, though. So he got the highest. He got 11 carries. He got 11. He completed. He attempted 12 passes and he completed 11 completes. His passing completions was perfect. But he got 139 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns, and of course Luton, he did great too. He got 16 completions out of 18, 137 yards, 1 touchdown. So that kind of proves, they got good quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, definitely. Trevor Lawrence has already started QB1, so he's already started once they started their season game. So
it kind of proves it, Atlanta.
They suck. They're trash.
Can't really. I don't want to say that, but at the same time, it was close.
What? 13.
It was just 19-10. Atlanta has not won the preseason game, but at the same time, I don't know. I really look up those stats in preseason, but at the same time, I'm not going to hold them to heart.
Right.
Because obviously the Steelers has not used Roethlisberger yet.
Their quarterback anyway, Atlanta's quarterback, or AJ or whatever his name is, he's done for the season because he's dislocated his knee or did something to his knee. So Felipe Franks is going to be the quarterback. My guess would be a starter quarterback.
Like the Browns, they used Mayfield a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a starting QB. So,
I mean, we all know Mayfield's going to be a starting quarterback.
huh?
I said, we all know Mayfield's going to be a starting quarterback.
So you know, we already know. So obviously, it's whatever. But I did watch a little bit of the Falcons game. It seemed like it was doing all right. The Browns was completing passes. So it kind of shows that the Falcons had a little bit of luck. So they're probably just holding up. But I definitely would know. So
I want to know your prediction. If it comes down to the wire, what do you think the score is going to be?
for who?
Clemson, Georgia. Get a little, kind of a prediction bet going on here. Which this is supposed to be the most highly paid game, most watched game. So this is the most talked about game right now.
This rivalry, I know we're talking about this rivalry a lot, but this rivalry game, Clemson and Georgia has made like a little pact of, we make a pact and we're not play you every year. I know it was the rumor that I was told. It was, we make a pact, we don't play against each other every year. Right. But every time they play against each other, it's always a battle. It's always a fight. It's always not like a fist fight, but it's always it could be, but it's always like a fight. It's a tough game. Against this rivalry, Clemson has won the last game. Not
really. They only won one game. Thank you, because they beat Georgia, and then Georgia went back and beat them every other year.
Yeah, but
that's when they had what was his name?
Who?
Not the one before Taj Boyd. That was the last time Clemson beat Georgia.
Yeah, that was the last time they played. Yeah, that was the last time. Clemson versus Georgia was Taj Boyd was in there. Mm-hmm. So I believe so. That's what I remember. That was the last time they played against each other. So that's what it was, and that's when Todd Boyd was in. Obviously, he's doing pretty good in the NFL.
And then Deshaun Watson took over, and then Georgia beat him every year.
Yeah. So,
what's your prediction?
I would say. Probably be a defensive game, but I would say probably 27, probably 30-27 or 30-26, whatever.
I'm gonna go with 40. I'm gonna go with 37 out of 26, or 40. 35 out of 27.
That's a weird number.
That's what I've seen. Every prediction is 35 to 27 or 42 to 30.
Yeah, so I believe it'd be a good scoring game, but I never really like predicting the score.
I don't either. I just kind of want a guessing game, so that's all I was saying. Make it interesting to know.
Well, you never know. We could just throw some safeties out. I'll probably say 30-27. I don't know. I don't know how you can get that number, but they make it happen.
I'm gonna say if I get that score there, if I predict that score, even if we change it up as soon as it gets, if I get that score, I would probably have a heart attack that game if Georgia beat Clemson with that score that I predicted.
We better play the lottery. Yeah,
I would play the lottery that night if Georgia beats Clemson with the score that I predict.
Yeah. Shoot, even if Clemson beats Georgia with that score, you still need to play the lottery.
Yeah, right.
Just switch your team.
I know I ain't jinxing. Last time I talked trash about Georgia versus Carolina, Georgia got their butt kicked by Carolina because I talked too much trash all week. So I ain't really talking too much trash. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So it's going to be a good game. I mean, I already know, it's going to be a battle. So there ain't no really telling who's going to win, who's going to lose. It's going to come down to the last wire. And that's how I'm going to end it with that because I'm not jinxing the team. I'm just going to end that conversation right there.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I was trying to find the... Taj Boyd, he was in 2014. That was the last time we played, right?
I think it was 2014 or 2016. 'Cause I know we played, unless it was this. Deshaun Watson just came in as a backup quarterback. I don't know, but I think it was 2014 or 2016 is the last time they played, or 2015.
Yeah, but I think August 30, 2014. You got me curious now. For some reason, I always thought it was no, it didn't even have Taj Boyd in it. I don't think. So, it's 45-21. Georgia won that game, 2014. That's when you had Todd Gurley.
Yeah, because Todd Gurley like I showed in the group, Todd Gurley just grumbled y'all on a punt return, coast to coast touchdown.
Yeah.
Took him from the front line of the end zone of their side all the way back to the other end zone.
Yeah, but we'll definitely see. Even if Georgia won, I can't find the stats. But if maybe Clemson getting them back. But I thank everyone for listening to wonderful podcast of Carolina Boys Sportscast. This is your host Jolly J and my co-host Sea Dog. You have a wonderful night.
Have a wonderful night.